Audio check, audio check. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be with you shortly.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's good to see everybody. We are live Monday afternoon.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show. The man in the box here, Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst and co-host of this wonderful show. Pedro, what is happening?
It is a beautiful day, and wherever you're at, it is kind of magical, to tell you the truth. I don't know what it is. I'm looking at your background. I was going to tell you, you have some lighting in the back, which looks really nice.
It's just my apartment in Chicago. Let me rephrase that. Our
Christmas
apartment in Chicago.
Yeah, I was going to say, do not forget Mrs. Striking.
Yeah, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got a good show for you today. We haven't been on the air much. My long sojourn of driving around the country is almost over. One more 13-hour drive tomorrow, and then I'll be back in the northern headquarters of DYOR Media in Kanukistan for the time being, and my long, strange trip will be over. But anyway, it is May 19th, 2025. Pedro, big news. BTC's pumping, even though Michael Saylor and Strategy bought another couple of bazillion dollars worth and are up over 596. They're approaching 600,000 Bitcoin pretty soon. It's fake move Monday for the markets, but did they fake us out? No, they pumped like crazy for Bitcoin. Trade I was not in, but I should have been. But anyway, getting some things wrapped up for the journey back to Canada, so I didn't spend the time getting up early and trading here this morning. But regardless of that, Pedro, what do you got going on? What's happening? What's moving? What's grooving? No, you're on mute.
Hello?
Yeah, you're there. Sorry.
Okay.
Forgot to.
No, it's all good. All right. So long story short, it was a beautiful weekend. Did a bunch of stuff. Unfortunately, I got in a little accident, but the market did not. So let's get into it.
First question is the car drivable or
no?
No, it's wrecked.
Well, I can. Here's the thing: I can drive it, but there's some liquid coming out the bottom. The wheel will drive, but
for
I
a very
just don't have
short amount of miles.
No, not even that. not even, bro. We're like feet. Maybe more inches. Like it'll turn over. Right? It'll turn over. Dude, it's a Toyota Corolla, bro. Those things will dude, they're like mouses, bro. They will just eat, dog. They will like, let's go. If they can go, they'll go. But if a tire, something's messed up, and that we'll see what's up. But really, aesthetically, it lost its right eye, and its little cheekbone got kind of punched, and I'm like, oh, oops. My baby. Yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into this here real quick. By the way, actually, before we jump right in, who do we got in the house? Holy moly, we got Alpha Wolf always showing up. Holy moly, we got Carmen Crypto in the house.
Hello, Chumbalones.
Oh, what's up, guys? It is a beautiful day. We got some people over even on Rumble, dog. We got people on Rumble. Look at that showing up.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, you guys know that we're open here. We want you guys asking questions. It's an open show. So if I say something that you want to ask questions about, please comment, respond. Also, we're thinking about adding on to our show here with an additional show that I have maybe in the morning. So when me and Tom can't do this together, I'll probably just go live myself. And he'll just post on the DYOR Media network so that you guys can actually get access to that as well. Or is that what we planned? I forget. I think that's what we planned.
We'll be on the air more often. If one of us is not available, the other will step it up.
Yeah. So that's how we look at it.
Alpha Wolf, it is a fantastic day. You know why? Because you're watching our show. That's right. And also because the market's pumping like crazy, and that's a good thing.
All right, guys, let's check out the market here. This is actually looking really pretty here. So we saw the market here go up. Last time we spoke about, I said I really am not trusting this rally here, simply because it's just not showing indicative of real buyers. Meaning you can see that our volume here is down. You can see that the average volume right here, which is the yellow line here, you see this right here, this is the average volume, and you can see here it comes up and it starts to go down, tries to peak up as we're selling off. So you can notice as the periods that we're selling off, we're seeing that the market increases in volume. As the market is going up, we're seeing that the market continues to go down. So that to me is one of those things that it's just, it doesn't bode well for this rally. And now I do think we're going to see a rally. I think we're going to keep going. Now, one thing I always say, if the market is going up, what do, Tom?
You FOMO in and wait to get wrecked.
You go long. You go long. If the market is moving up, you go up. If the market is going down, you go down. Now, the reason why I look at the volumes, because it lets me know from a conviction standpoint if I want to stay in a long or if I want to stay in a short, even if the price is going against me. So if I am buying the market, and so that means I want price to go up, that means then I want to see an increase in buyer volume. And in that increase in the buyer volume, then that lets me know, oh, when price comes back down, buyers will step in because price is cheap and it'll go back up. If we have the inverse situation where the price is moving up, but I'm seeing a drop in volume as it goes down, as it's coming down, I want to sit there and basically say, okay, I want to take profit here, 70%, 80%, as price is coming down, and then reevaluate it, right? So if market is pushing up, and I'm looking at it going, okay, we should be looking to take profit here if I see volume going down. If I'm seeing volume increase, and at certain junction points I see even price even more, or if I see volume even increase even more, I'm then more apt to sit there and go, okay, great, let's buy as it's coming down. Take a small profit as it's up here, and then buy as it's coming down, or at certain junction points when I see volume increasing. You can see here now, and I know I just kind of braided that point there, but it's an important point to pay attention to, because that then gives you why are you doing this? I don't understand what's doing that. Let's try this again. Reset price. Okay, no, there we are. As we're seeing it right now, you can see the price is moving up again. So that's why, and we're coming up into an area that is supply. Now, is it going to continue up? It may not. But because I've explained to you guys what's happening, I am more apt right now to take my profits quick as I'm day trading. Now, if price is going up, as we're seeing it push up, and we're watching this continue up, well, and I'm in a long, let's say a long-term long, I'm going to let it run, because I want to gauge, I want to get as much profit as I can before we see a turnaround. So right now, we don't really have any major like significant news that could be affecting us. We don't have any major news. I mean, we've already have almost World War III with India and Pakistan and China, right? America, tariff wars. I mean, there's been so much crazy things that should have turned this market around. If this market is so resilient that it's like, I'm at a point now where it's like, okay, I'm always kind of looking to go long, but as the market shows weakness, I want to take my shorts or potentially buy in. Now, I was a huge advocate saying that, look, I expect this market, as we were coming down to the 70,000 here, to see it come all the way down to that 30,000. I'm still apt to really, now, one of the things I always, again, labor on is you dollar cost average every week, every 2 weeks, however you do it, you dollar cost average into the coins in which you like, the ones that you are favorable towards. And so I'm always in, no matter what, dollar cost average, but always save also a little powder, so when the market sells off, you're able to buy in at the big sell-offs. Okay, and so I'm a huge proponent for that. Now, if you're also a day trader or you're looking to trade, right, then things change a little bit on that strategy. Actually, they change a lot in that strategy. But remember, I want you guys to do well. We're still very much in the very beginning of crypto here. And so these prices are still very low. So buying these prices in dollar cost averaging over the next 20 years, 20 to 30 years is going to set you up, and or your family, if you, if you bequeath them as inheritance for them, right? So it's a nice little setup, as you can sit there and see. And additionally to that, if this does continue up short period right now, we've got some areas here that I'm looking at for a turnaround. So we're kind of at the peak here at this level of that 109 to that 106, 107 area. And we're tapping into this. Now, this is the weekly chart. So we already came down first for the weekly chart. Okay, as you can see right here, came down, put the wick in, and now we're starting to go up. And so we potentially, I'm a little hesitant. We went down on Sunday and we went up on Monday here, or coming up on Monday here. So we want to be a little careful here, right? We've got a few things for the week potentially from an economic standpoint. We can go check out the news here. Now, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm kind of doing this right here, and then we're going to hit the actual chart here. But I want to kind of give you what's happening from this way, from like a bullseye is what I'm doing, almost like a labyrinth in a sense. But I want you to understand what I look at and how I look at things, right? So I look at the chart first, see what's going on, and then I do this either or. I typically go to the news first. I'll look at the news first, see what's going on for the week for the actual setups, because institutions will set up their trades based off of the first of the week, what the news is going to be for that week. So that's why you kind of look at it, see what's happening, so we can sit there and see And one of the things is I go to investing.com, and there are a few other things, like if you're a Forex trader, you can go to forex.com, or was it forexnews.com? I forget exactly what it is. Forex Factory, that's what it is, forexfactory.com. A lot of people use those for news sources. But what you're going to do is you're going to go to the economic calendar area, and you're just going to peruse through this and come and look down. So you can see here Monday, May 19th, you can see here the 3 stars are something that you need to be paying attention to. Now, I've changed my settings for this. I want to know what's going on with Europe. I want to go what's going on with China and a few other major G7 countries, G10 countries. And so that's why I typically have kind of, and then got one in there that's, anyways, it doesn't matter. But you can understand what I'm doing here. So today, there's really nothing here. Now, I look for American news. So you see USD, and I look for 3 stars here. So I go through, I check here real quick. You can see we got crude oil on Wednesday, but Monday and Tuesday, we really don't have anything coming here. So we got crude oil. So you know that crude oil is going to push. Now, we all know crude oil typically, not everybody knows it, sorry. Most people who trade know that crude oil, if they trade crude oil, that you have inventory on Wednesday around 7:30. So you can sit there and see that that's going to be a market movement for crude oil. I think sooner or later, we'll see similar situations here, like the report on mining we'll see up here one day for why am I forgetting what it's called, for Bitcoin and many of the other mining major coins that mine as well.
Welcome,
So
Jerry Molinari, to the show. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for coming back. Baby Draco
Absolutely.
in the house, otherwise known as Jesus from San Francisco, Silka Free
What's
City.
up?
Welcome,
What up?
welcome, Chumbaloons and Chumbalinas, he says.
¿Qué pasa? All right, and then we also have the initial jobless claims coming in on Thursday. And then from there, to close off that day, it is going to be the PMI. And then after that, Friday, I believe there's nothing on Friday. Yeah, there's nothing on Friday. New home sales. And those have been a hit and miss in regards to what we've been watching in the economy. Sometimes they do. You'll see the market have major exposure to it and it'll go up. If we see a large buys, or if we see a lot of people buying homes. But in particular right now, because everything's kind of stagnant with what's happening in the economy, and there's not a lot of building happening, and a lot of people buying because they're more or less afraid of interest rates and or what we're seeing with the tariffs and people losing jobs. And so this is where this is kind of iffy. So this is why they kind of pair this together. So again, so on Thursday, we have setting up for the week. And so you'll see the trades as we speak happen, the initial jobless claims. Okay. And so what you're going to want to see is their jobless claims, this to go down, right? They are expecting it to go up, which means that people are filing for unemployment, which will have a negative effect on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, which will then have an effect on Bitcoin. So you see the correlations there. So that's why we look at this, right, for the week and see how it will actually happen. You can actually go, if you want to learn about this and actually how it works, you can go to investing.com, look up major U.S. government financial reports, major U.S. government financial reports. And then what you do is you say, how does this affect that stock market? And you can jump onto whatever LLM that you use and say, hey, how does this report affect the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ? Or just simply say the NASDAQ. And you'll sit there and they'll say, oh, it affects it favorably by pushing the market up. Okay. Which hence, if the NASDAQ goes up, typically we see Bitcoin go up. Okay. So it's why you want to understand the correlation there and be able to play. So if you see the market in the very beginning of the week selling off, and remember, and the person who talks about this quite a bit, you can go look up his stuff. It's very jumbled, but he does speak about this, is ICT smart money trading. He talks about this quite a bit, about how the market will first push up to go down, and then it will take out liquidity points where liquidity is sitting, and then push back up. Or it will go down first, take out liquidity, and then I always forget because this is backwards. So it will it will go down first, take out liquidity, then go up, right? And so as these plays start to happen, you can gauge what the market is doing here. And so you can kind of, you have a better chance of predicting a move in the market. With that said, now let's check out the charts, because right now we saw the market sell off on Sunday. Monday did a rebound, so it put in the supply wick for the week. And then you can sit there and gauge, okay, now that we put, or excuse me, not the supply wick, the demand wick for the week, as we came down and now we're pushing back up. We want to see what it's going to do. We know that there's going to be Sunday stops sitting right here. So that's why I have the purple line right here. So we saw it come down, take out a bunch of stops. Now there's a bunch of wicks right here you can see, right? And so the primary one that you kind of go to the very first one here against this body, and you kind of play off of this. And you can see every time we keep coming down into this area, we keep finding buyers, right? And so this is the area that, are they stopping people out? I don't know. But I like to then, as each day happens, you can see they keep buying it. And I use my moving average or whatever trending mechanism that you use, which you should always have a trending mechanism to be able to gauge when price comes back down and hits that trending mechanism, it typically reverts and pushes back. And so you're looking for reversals, right? Or pullbacks to come down, hit your area based off what time frame that you're trading off of, and then it typically will push back up. And so that's why you use your trending mechanism to use. A lot of people use EMAs. A lot of people use what's that called? Reverse mean or mean reversal mechanisms. And then other people use what is that called? VWAP, and there's another WAP. And so these things will let you know if you're on the top part, you know to look to go buy. If it's on the bottom part of it, you're looking to sell. And so these mechanisms, whatever you use, just make sure that you go back test it with the strategy that I kind of just showed you, and do what you decide you're going to do. Again, this is not financial advice. This is entertainment and educational purpose only, or as Tom says, edutainment.
Edutainment, baby.
And I'm just saying what I look at to help you guys out. So right now, I'm seeing us push up to come down. Took orders here. We know on Thursday, right? We're gonna have jobless claims, and on Friday we do home sales, right? And so this is gonna be these days here. So you can kind of plan to see where's support, and where's resistance coming in. And so you can see here, like we've got support about right here, right? Come on, boom, we got support right in this area. I do kind of a light blue for two things. One light blue is for gaps, and the other light blue for me is potential resistance. This isn't areas that I'm considering potentially where we could catch. So when I look at that, I go, okay, boom. So then I make that a green. Now this is different than my green lines, okay? So I'll sit there and I'll go like this. These are potential areas that I'm looking at to see where markets are going to turn around and look at things. So here we go. We just throw this here. Boom.
Pedro, I got to interrupt you for a second here.
Yep.
We got a $5 super chat donation from AI Alpha Wolf. Woo! I don't have the sound effects on. So, yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Alpha Wolf. As I always say, the super chats go towards making this a better show and letting the algorithm know that something good is going on here, ladies and gentlemen. And thus, hopefully, it'll bring more people here, get to the message. And Alpha Wolf spreading the alpha about his Sol Snake stuff. Sorry, we have not been on the air, so I haven't been able to cover it much. But AI Alpha Wolf has got a lot of things going on, and you should do your own research and go check out his projects.
Definitely. I like Alpha Wolf. He's I think one of the most genuine guys and the hardest working guys in crypto. He works a full-time job while out there promoting coins and working really hard. So shout out to AI Wolf. So one of the things I want to point out here is now, so the fact that we went up to come down is more of a bullish sign to me, saying, you know what, we're probably going to continue up. So these are certain areas that I'm looking at. Okay. We've got that 120, 119, 120 area, and I'm going to move this up here to 120. Let's change this. Coordinates. When are you going to be a dish? There we go. All right, so I've got a 120, 115 area. What I expect if this is going to continue up is we're going to see this come up to here, hit that 110, see a bit of a pullback here, and then potentially see it come up to that 115, 120 area this week. Even though we are going through and we are seeing volume drop off, again, I don't know. I use my turnaround points as areas to take in part of the shorts. So this is kind of like what I would expect. And I know this sounds this looks crazy, but it basically looks like this. This is what I would expect it to come up, come down, then come up.
Edit our screen, and I shouldn't have done that. And it said high CP usage, and then when it says high CP usage, it's over. Okay, we're back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
We are back, better than ever. All right, here we go. Guess who's back? All right. As you know, I'm a 90s baby there.
Back to life, back to reality.
All right, boom. All right, here we go. So we're gonna show this. All these guys. Jason. We got Jason Anderson in the house. It's been a minute, right, since we've had Jason. Is Jason? I think Jason. Was it Jason Anderson or Jason Spurges? That's who it is. Jason Spurges. Who are you, Jason Anderson? How did you find us? Explain to us how you came to us. Has he been here before? Why am I forgetting who Jason?
I don't know. I'm not getting my comment machine seems to be running behind also. There's Troll King XPX.
Shoot, we got Troll King. What's up, XPX? Good to see you, dude. We got the crew in the house today. All right, nice. Hey guys, do us a quick favor because we're getting back into this, and Tom has stopped making his pilgrimages throughout the rest of the country.
Almost stopped.
Almost. He got one more. He's got one more. But in that same, Jason is from Soul Snake. All right, cool. Yeah, man, glad to have you. You guys can do us a quick favor. Please hit that like and share button. That share button, whether you share us to X, Facebook, or any of the other babies out there, it still helps us. And if you could, once you share it, go to incognito and then just click on that.
Yeah.
Share on whatever page you have, and what happens
that'll activate that share link then, and we'll get the credits, baby. Boost us in the algo.
Helps us, and once we get this up and running again, it just helps us out. Again, that's simply share, then go to Cognito, and then click on it. Click on that link, and it helps us out quite a bit. So, guys, thank you so much. Troll King, good to have you again, as always. Jason, glad to have you part of the community here. Again, we're two knucklehead guys, just good old blue collar workers trying to make a living. And so
that's good, Pedro. I like that. Anyway, welcome to everyone watching us on Rumble. Thank you very much for joining us. Got a big crew over there, much larger than YouTube. So YouTubers, you got to pick it up, man. Get that YouTube, get that algorithm out there, get it to more people. But anyway, thanks everyone on Rumble. Many of you are not subscribers to Rumble. You just watch on your big screen TV or smart TV or whatever. But you can get an account with Rumble without paying for it. You can join premium and go ad-free and all that, but you can just create an account. You can use Facebook or Google to log in to Rumble, and that means you can hit the like button.
Hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button. Yeah, my precious, my precious. All right, okay. Enough with that weirdness. Let's
Crypto
finish
Mike
off
in the
crypto.
house. I think everyone's getting around now. And Carmen Crypto says, "Is anyone coming to Bitcoin next week in Vegas?" Pedro and I are not. I just couldn't get it on the radar there. I couldn't get it going. I've been traveling for 2 months. Another week of doing that, I would have been dead.
But he did go to
I've got a
one day. You do, bro. I was gonna say you look fresh, man.
I'm a little washed out here because I got the window light going on. But...
No, bro. It doesn't even look that. Dude, you look good, bro. You look good. Oh, and no Diddy. You look good, man. Okay.
Well, I'm not involved with that Diddy thing. I didn't get subpoenaed for that trial yet.
Dog. Yeah, but you heard what the kids are saying now. They call that no Diddy. It's all the guys are now saying it. It cracks me up, man. Like, is like at my church, like a lot of the kids like talk and they're slang. And I heard this one kid go like, "Oh no Diddy, bro."
I knew that. I knew that dude was sketch when I did. For those of you that don't know, I did meet Diddy at the time known as Puff. Way back in the days when I was selling bulletproof cars, because the East Coast West Coast rap thing was going on, and they did not buy the car from me because, well, I treated him like he was the lackey, but so they didn't know who he was. And I've told you this story, haven't I, Pedro?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough. We won't get involved with that today, but I did not get diddied. I did not get the sale, and I did not get diddied. Rollin' Rod in the house. Thanks for joining us, Rollin' Rod.
We got heads today, man. Hey, guys, do us a quick favor while you're there. Jump over to Rumble. Hit the like button there. Make a comment down at the comment section. That helps us out a lot. You guys know. So please do that. That always helps us out in Rumble. Again, now that we're back here, we're trying to really... Tom, what is going on? I just saw it go black.
Oh no, I was just trying to update the pricing screen.
Okay.
It's stuck on Solana and won't leave. Won't go back to Bitcoin.
We'll just take it off. Or is that gonna mess it up?
No. I'll just remove it. That's no big deal.
Yeah, let's we're back here. We're first day back. Try not to have any of the technical issues more than usual. So let's cross our fingers. Okay, so long story short, the market is moving up. I would expect that we've got a few turning points here that you guys want to be ready for. The fact is that we did have a push up to sell off today is a good sign of it going up, right? I'm looking at that 110 area potentially into this week. And if it really starts to get momentum and we start to see volume step in, then I'm expecting us to pick up and get up into that 115, potentially 120 area. And so if that happens, the world is gonna again and turn into Bitcoin and go, what is going on? And we're gonna go, so hopefully that happens. If not, then I would expect us to get to that potentially 110 area, turn back around and come and tap this, kind of play between that 110 to 100 area as I've kind of marked out right here. This would be probably the range for the week. Now, one of the things I also want to add in here, as we're starting to see the market again start to hit those all-time highs, is the FOMO aspect, right? People like to FOMO in when price is going up. If you start to see it, right, be hesitant, because what does that mean when people start to FOMO in? That means institutions typically want to take the other side, right? And so we can see major sell-offs. So when you see people coming and buying the market quite a bit in a day, expect a bit of a sell-off towards the end of the day or potentially midday, okay, around 12 o'clock-ish, if we really start to have a really big green. But if not, take your gains and then get ready for a sell-off potentially at the end of the week. Again, if it's going up at the beginning of the week, what should we expect by the end of the week? To come down.
Going down.
Right, because you're not all the way down, but I think we'll finish off the week as a green week. But how far is this going to go? I don't know. But again, I'm still hesitant. Why?
Yeah, hold on. Audio check, everybody. Let me know if you can hear Pedro and I. What's something going on?
Oh, no. Are you serious?
No, your voice is going out, Pedro.
All right. Sound is gone for your information. Baby Draco.
No, I can hear your voice on the stream.
Okay, we are good. All right, thanks, Jerry. You rock the mic. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate every one of you. I don't care what those people say about you. I think you're great people. I had a foster father used to always say that to me. At first I was like, what? Who's saying smack about me? Anyways, just rolling. All right, cool. All right, so let's pop here real quick. I like this. I'll see what's going on. Now let's check out Solana, because Solana is one of those ones that we saw it come down to the 94 area, which was really dope. I was really kind of excited. A lot of people picked up a lot of Solana at that point. I know that Mar was talking about Solana. Where I clicked on Solana is starting to see a bit of a sell-off here for the day, and so because of this, this area here, and let me point this out. Actually, you know what? We'll just do this right.
Crypto Mike says DYOR bitches.
So you can see here we have this wick here. Price came up, hit our area of where stops would hit, right? I always talk about, right, that we're that wick against that wall, right? You can see here there's going to be buyers here, and so we can always gauge a push up, and so you can see that we're starting to see a bit of a sell off. So I'm more adamant to sit there and say that we might see a sell off in Solana, kind of come back down and test that 140. If we close red below this purple line, which is sitting at that 161, expect us to really kind of come down and test that 141 area. This 141 area, actually we'll give it a range here for you guys. Nope. Okay, we'll sit there. About right here to that's weird.
Mikester is in the house on Rumble. Mikester, you're probably behind a few minutes. Make sure you hit that button to go live. Catch up to us.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, on Rumble. As I said before, I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Appreciate every one of you guys. All right, guys. So you can see here at the 147 to that 141 area is a really nice area. I expect us potentially to come back down there. And this is all predicated on if we close today at these lows below that 161 area. If we see that, and this is the purple line right here, then expect us to go down. If not, then it should follow what Bitcoin is going to do. So make sure you keep aware of what's actually happening here. All right, guys, that's a good little play that we could play, that we are seeing a bit of a divergence between Bitcoin and the altcoin Solana. The other question a lot of people were asking me is, what do I think about ETH, and what do you think is going to happen? One of the things that I've seen here is that, again, we're seeing an increase in volume here with ETH. So this is a good sign, potentially saying that we could see a pickup. The only issue is we're seeing more sellers coming in. You can see over the buyer volume, but it's still a normal amount of volume that we're seeing. You can see here comparative to where it's been about this level here, right around right here. Right now we're picking up. So if we start to see volume really step in on Solana, then not Solana, on ETH, then I'd expect it to come and test that 284 area, 2841 to around that 367. I've got a few supply areas here. I got a zone on top of a zone, and so that the first zone is sitting around that 2918 to the 2851, and the 3067 to the 2982. Those two areas here, we'll see which one plays and which one actually holds. But if we see volume step in and get this going, as you can see, Sunday we had abnormal amount of volume come in, and it really kind of played nice. We ended off with a modified doji, right? 2 wicks here, and so I would expect us to see us kind of with a bigger wick on the bottom. So we couldn't even get below yesterday's low, whereas you saw Bitcoin and Solana come through and get below yesterday's low whereas this couldn't even get there. So I'd expect us to see some green volume come in. So if Bitcoin really starts to push, I'm expecting ETH to push as well. Again, and the primary reason why is, as you can see here, a lot of this volume on yesterday's open. So, or yesterday's starting. When I mean open, Sunday's the first candle for the week. And so when I say open, I mean the weekly open for this. And so we're looking to gauge what's going to happen for the week so we can take advantage of that. And so as you can see here already, looks like we're right about to actually even go green, and it's starting to trend up. So I'd expect us to continue up. Yeah, and we could get today, we can get up to probably that 25.87 area.
Nice little pump for ETH.
Nice little pump. So if you're playing the futures there, you could get on a good little push up to the highs of yesterday. So be looking for that. Again,
Mr. Mo XPX72 in the house. Looks like he came over from the XPX group. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I like XPX. You guys, XPX. What was the? You know, we'll talk about it later. I just realized maybe what was it? S&P 2600? No, 26,000.
69,000. Or
69,000.
Yeah, or 6,900 or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was. And I just realized I was confusing the two there for XPX. But either way, it's good to have you, brother, as always. Great, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Hey, if you guys could do us a favor, please hit that those thumbs up buttons. Make a comment down at the bottom. We love responding to you guys, even if it's something like, these guys got big old noses, and I don't like the guy with long hair. He's annoying, and he's got a weird voice. I don't even care. Make fun of me. Have fun with it. Really, I'm encouraging you. Just don't cut me too deep. I'm a little sensitive sometimes. No, I'm really not. All right, so let's go ahead, go here real quick. Matic was actually looking pretty fire. Here, Tom's all yes. But the problem is, it's stuck in between this daily 8 and the 89. You can see that we're seeing here. So we're kind of stuck in between this area. But the reason I say it's looking fire is because, look, you're seeing a consolidation here. And this consolidation with kind of the, like a mid-size of volume, as you can see here. I call it mid-size, but you can see here that it's not really pushing up or pushing down. So I really like it. Draco. Just popped up. He's all freaking Matic. Sorry. I don't mean to laugh at you, Jesus. Just the way you said it was cracking me up. All right. So, but the fact is that I like this because we're seeing us really kind of push in, and instead of dropping here at this level, which we should have, we didn't. And so we're kind of holding here. So I'm kind of waiting and seeing what we're going to see for this week. But I think we really are kind of prepping for like that altcoin run. That was so hard to say. And so I'm really excited about what we're seeing here, especially with the nuanced moves of this market right now, meaning the nuance being, you know, you're having medium-sized volume here, if not less, but you're not seeing a drop in price here. So potentially I'm expecting this to push up, even though we should have pushed harder off of this level here, us retesting that 8-period moving average, but we didn't. And so because of that, I'm sitting there going, okay, we could see Matic push up again to that 29.50 to the 29.10 area here, and potentially touch that 31.30 cent area. So, you know, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. But us sitting right now at that 23 cent area, it's going to be a nice little push. What would that be? 3, 6, 7. That'd be 7 cents right there. And that, I mean, what, 7 cents off of 20 cents? What? So that's 20% potentially push up there. So that could be a nice little push for the week. We'll see what happens there, but we could see another leg like this come in from Matic. So, and you can see how this is kind of, this area is kind of similar to this area right here, kind of like boom, boom, boom. Smaller set, but it's similar. So it's a continuation, something that would look like this. We could see something like that tap this area right here. So,
Just tapping in. Welcome to all those other people joining us on Rumble now. Thanks a lot. We really enjoy it. Let all your friends know. Let everybody know that you're watching the coolest crypto show in the crypto world. Actually, Pedro, I might as well tell everybody, look, we're moving. Our roots here were in crypto, but really we talk about everything affecting day traders. Pedro's been on the crypto review here today. But we've moved into, talking about the economy as a whole. Thus, we've moved into all the products that everyone day trades anyway. So I refer to it as crypto special, but really it's going to be better than all that tasty trade crap. No, they're good people over there.
No, I was going to say, tasty trade's on point, dude. I'll never go against those guys. Those guys are OGs. It's like that's like going against Michael Jordan, dog.
I know.
Look, don't talk. Everybody knows. Do not talk trash to Michael Jordan.
The tasty trade guys. I was watching one of the options guys, and he's like, this obscure option, and he's like, if the theta just moves a little bit, and like an hour later or the next day, he's like, oh, remember we talked about that? He's like, yeah, I made like 50 grand on that. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, those guys are beasts. I respect those guys. I've watched them when he first
Snake
started
to the moon.
I started watching him, and I was like, man, that guy's legit. So, when did they get really going? Actually, when they started, I think it was back in 2006, and that's when Invest Tools was around. Option Addicts. That's when with Thinkorswim, he started really getting involved with Thinkorswim, and which is a trading platform. Thinkorswim was that was TD. It was before they turned into TD Ameritrade system.
Right.
I think that's who they work with. And so, this is when all this stuff was fledgling happening. Internet was really starting to get up and running and trading. And then Tasty Trades came out. And it wasn't even called Tasty Trades. It was called something else. I can't remember.
They changed it when the lady sold the company. They I can't remember what it used to be called, but they had to switch names. So that's when they switched to Tasty Trade. But you see them everywhere. They're sponsoring Major League Baseball. I mean, they're making a ton of money.
Yeah, they're great guys, and I like them. They're funny. There's a good old East Coast blue collar guys. Just I like them. I mean, they make a ton of money. I'm not saying that they don't, but they came from nothing. Every one of them. There was no money. They didn't come from money. And a lot of times that's with a lot of traders. They just climb their way up. And I respect that.
That's what I'm starting to do.
And you're doing a damn good job, brother. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, dude. You've been grinding, and you keep. I know I keep busting your balls a lot, but I love the fact that you just keep going. You're like, no, we're gonna keep it. No, I'm in this to win it, and I'm like, all right, this is my dog. All right, we riding together. There's times I do get annoyed. Come on, dude, but my dog, bro. You're my boy, Blue. All right. Let's jump back forward around this silly touching moment.
Blue.
There, but I'm proud of you. You're my boy, Blue. Okay. When it comes to Matic here, like I said, what I want to see is kind of staying above this 89 period and this 50 period moving average. This 50 period moving average, which is the gray line right here. That's our price point of 21.61. If it does, and we see it go low here, then I would expect it to come and tap that 18 again. But roughly, this is the area that I am looking at so that we can play nice ball on it. Let's go. Here we go. Why is that doing that? Yeah. Oh, Tom, I wanted to ask you a quick question.
Yes, sir.
How is your trade plan going?
My trade plan?
I know you've been writing it out and going through and tallying a lot of your trades, and you're kind of creating an hypothesis of how you're going to structure your trading.
Well, here's my. It was good news, bad news. Good news is that I've been keeping trade journals. Bad news is because I've been all over the place. Part of my trade journal's in Florida because I forgot it, and so I
that's what I do digitally.
I know. I was writing them down, and not only that, but I was using another laptop in Florida, and there's an Excel spreadsheet on that file that I thought I was saving to my network drive. Not so much. It's all right. It's all right though. I've got to. I don't have a lot of trades. to really make good statistical data out of it.
But you're doing it. So, but here's the thing. You created that, and now even your trades that you're doing right now, going forward, because you've been writing it down, it's kind of solidified in your brain of that structure that you are now using, right? Becoming more solidified.
Yeah, and I'm just started doing a basic one, Pedro. I started out with which trading strategy it was, and I really have like 2 that I use right now, or 2 model setups that I wait for, because those are the ones I've been practicing on demo mode. And so which one is it? And then, the starting price, was it demo or live trade? Price in, price out, and did I win or lose? What day of the week, the date, simple stuff like that. Just the basics. Because I can't, like yours is like an amazing thing. As I've helped you with that. But that's too much information for me right now. I got to add to it as I
keep it simple.
Right.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple first.
Yeah, and then build. And I do need you to add a little more to that. So when if you don't mind, we'll talk about that another time off the road or off the
Baby Draco. Yes. As Pedro has taught me, every trader needs to journal their trades so they can make a giant database of their trades, and they can get data out of that. Like, you can go through and sort and say, hey, I lost every trade I opened at 2 p.m. Why? Well, because that's not a good time to trade. Or, on Tuesdays, I always lost, so my model doesn't work on Tuesdays. Blah, 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 blah. You got to be able to go back and sort through that stuff, pull data out of it, just like anything. I mean, I'm sure you have data on how many cars you sell a month, and you're like, oh, I don't know, I got fat stacks of cash, so I must have done okay.
No, dude, some of the most intelligent data statistic individuals I've ever met were car salesmen, because they really do run those data points are huge. The other one that I also thought was really interesting is door knockers, and I've been a part of 2 communities, right, where with door knockers they track their knocks. One of the best guys I ever met in my life, literally he had little, come on,
Brando Commando back in the house. Thanks for joining us on Rumble. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man. How you doing, brother? Thanks for coming in. Good to have you, brother. Brando Commando. Brand, I'm gonna call you BC, bro. That's too much for me. Or Brand. What's up, brother? So, but the key point is this: it's not that you don't trade those dates. What it is you stack or you track your statistics, so you can gauge what's actually happening. And as you track it, you sit there and go, okay, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? What is it that I'm missing on the chart that I need to pay attention to? And all of a sudden, sooner or later, you get your part of your brain that focuses on the details, and it goes, okay, we need to figure that out. And so what it does, it starts to go back in your subconscious, and it literally plays out at whatever you're looking at. And it's looking in your back of your mind. It's data, because it does, when you look at the screen, it doesn't forget. Like, we know that our brain's memory parts don't really forget, right? That's why people go insane. Not insane. That's why their brain
gets full.
Anyways, it gets full. It gets full and full. And the older you go, that's why people lose their brain mindset in a certain sense. Anyways, all that to say is this: is your subconscious and unconscious mind look for the details, and then as you're looking the next time at that chart, it goes, look, this is what we figured out. But if you're not activating the part of the brain that tells your prefrontal cortex and your subconscious mind to sit there and say, hey, we're losing here, we need to figure out why, then what happens? It then causes your brain to do this, and then it centers and it focuses where and how you need to, whatever you need to find. And so that's why you write your trade plans. That's why you do all these things. That's why you write down your trades, so that you can become better and you activate the part of your brain that needs to get activated. And so that's why I tell these certain little things to help you guys out. Writing down. I learned this one thing also. Writing down your goals that you're trying to work for that week. Whatever, start creating goals, right? Like, oh, I want to get in. I notice I keep getting stopped out here. I want to wait, or I want to make sure that I get in at a lower point because I keep getting my stop hit. Barely, right? Like to the tick or barely to the tick, right? It goes down just a little, stops you on it goes. You're like, I need to wait, and I need to create a mechanism that allows me to wait, or a rule that allows me to wait as an entry point and allows me to be able to get in on that trade. So that's why if you keep writing down what is actually happening, then Tom, there's something's going on. I got a giant black
bar through your face.
black bar to my face. Yeah. And so that's where going through, writing down shows you, oh, I keep getting ticked. Let me wait an additional 5 minutes, or let me wait until instead of trying to catch that reverse as it's coming down, let me wait until the reverse is now trending and starting to go up. It was coming down, and you would try to catch the bottom of it. But we all have trending mechanisms. So we're like, wait, let's see a trend start, and let's see if I catch it as it's starting to push up. So those small little details are important. What's up, brother? I see you laughing. What's going on?
Just Jesus.
Oh, what do you say?
He's just when you had the giant black thing on you, apparently it came out of your mouth a little wrong. I didn't point it out.
Oh, that did not sound right, Pedro. Yep. You are not lying. My staking bag is fat. I love it. Giant black. What? Autobots activate. I like it. That's funny. Okay. So that's in a nutshell. What else do you guys want us to look at? Again, this is an open market. I can just cut through what we're doing, but we could do Technical Tuesday. No, you're not going to be able to do this tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm driving.
Yeah. So maybe I should do this right here. Yeah, no, I can sit there. Like I'm trying to move away from the black bar.
Yeah, no, I'm fixing it right now. Just got the pricing to work.
All right, so let's check out. We'll just go over the top 10 here real quick. BNB came down to yesterday. We're seeing it come through. It's looking like it's going to break here. If we continue up and we see it close green, my area that I'm looking at for it to test is this area right here.
Oh, of course, Jesus asked about Pax Gold. I don't think Pedro did trade it. He trades the regular gold.
Yeah, but I actually like it. I actually been telling a lot of my friends because of what's actually happening in crypto. I tell all my friends now, like, look, if you don't have access to the actual like contract itself because you got to pay, a bunch of money and you don't have that money, you can actually go on, so you can still trade, go to crypto and talk about it here, right? And I showed them, I was like, look, if you want to trade the S&P 500 but on the blockchain, it's right here. Look, SPY is done by Stock Crypto Oracle. You can see here it's crypto, and it pulls right up and it follows it. Now, not exactly, but it still follows it fairly well. So I was really impressed with it, like really impressed. And they pretty much have everything. And so it's not the contract exactly, or it's not the 24/7 trading, but it does trade it for the morning. So you can see here that it opened at 9:30 and you see it pushing up. And so that's actually a cool thing. And you don't need, and this is up to date, like it's, it's 10:05, not 10:05, it's 1:05 right now. You can see that the actual market, you can have access to it. So I love it. And so because of Pax Gold, I started really thinking, is there any other things that have been put on the blockchain? You can see Pax G. Which is nice. I just think it's cool that you can actually go through and look at the actual data and see what's actually happening. Now, Pax G does trade 24/7, as you can see here. And I don't know how they're doing that. I want to learn more about actually how it works here, but it follows it pretty good. Not exactly. You do have, huge spikes because it still is a bit of a the volume on Pax Gold isn't as much, but it is still a good it's still a good follow. Like you can see here, this is Pax Gold. Now I'm gonna go to gold here. You can see, right? Like this is the part here. This was the big push up and the down. So it looks fairly decent, like it's following it. Let me see if I can actually do it this way. Or
Pax Gold, they do have a $750 million market cap, so clearly a lot of people have put the monies into it.
That's really nothing, bro. That's still it's not even above $1 billion.
That's why I said it was $750 million.
Yeah, like it's not. I mean, when you think about gold.
Oh.
No. What I'm saying, you're right. What I meant is that like I think gold is 23. No. What is the cap? What is the cap of the actual futures? I forget. I'll have to look it up here in just a second. But yeah, either way,
it's like 12 or 13 trillion, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like in the trillions. Like, so that's what I'm saying. It's not even $1 billion.
It's 13,000 times more.
Yeah. But what's cool about it though is that there is stuff now. Again, all this stuff is awesome because it's just starting. Like this stuff is going to grow. This is going to become. I mean, the fact that you don't have to pay for a lot of the craziness that correlates with gold, right? And with Pax Gold, you can get in at a low level, and there are going to be speculators that are going to manipulate gold on Pax Gold. Like people will get in, they will push the market up on it to capitalize on a movement on gold until you start to see a regulation come in, right? But right now there's no regulations for it. I mean, most people don't even know that there are crypto. Like right now, there are on every blockchain, there are now being created stocks that are now correlated to the stock market, to the S&P 500, to the NASDAQ. So you can go through and starting to trade these coins that literally are like Coke. And they don't trade exact, but some of them kind of do. So some algorithm, some institution is trading some of these stocks out there based off of some of these coins based off the actual stocks. It's a big deal. And so this is going to become more, like this is going to happen. I'd expect a few of these companies out there to honestly just buy out the community, saying, you know what? You guys did a good job. We love it. We're just going to buy you guys out and then convert a crypto stock split or something, maybe even a potential hybrid, which we've talked about, right? And so sooner or later, I'd expect something like that because, I mean, why not? You already have a community, and that community is diehard, right? Like they're like, oh, go Tesla, right? Or go like, let's go Coke, right? Because whatever, right? You got Coke heads there. But either way, you get these.
You've got Coke heads? Is that what you just said?
Yeah. Crypto heads.
Hey, today the stock in Coke went up. No, not Coke. Cocaine, Coca.
Blockchain, everything. Yeah, everything. You're right, Draco. You're very right, man. I expect to see some big pushes and just blockchain everything, because the speed in which it transfers, it is so quick. I mean, instant reconciliation. It's trustless, so you don't have to worry about it. I mean, as people who are getting into crypto realize, like I had a friend of mine, I said, listen, just go through, I have a whole entire video series. I want you to go and watch the video series. And by looking at the video series, you'll see what I mean when I say that crypto and blockchain is a superior technology, and its ability for people to network around the world is so quick. It literally dwarfs the time of traditional finance.
Now it's a good question. So say you wanted to trade Ford stock on the blockchain and somebody made a liquidity pool and said this is going to track Ford stock. how would that be done?
How does that work?
There's no deliverable that would force, arbitrage to work properly. It would be.
I don't know how it works, but you can sit there and see it actually happening. So for whether it's MEV bots that are actually doing it, whether it is, I really don't know, in all honesty. But I know that they are doing stuff, and you can go on Coke, and like, again, there's like 50,000 Coke, ticker symbols. So you're gonna have to go through.
Right.
But the one with the most volume, obviously.
Yeah, that's how to keep. Yeah, that adds a whole new level of manipulation,
complexity,
to stock prices.
And, but here's the thing: if I am a speculator, and if I know all this stuff, I can sit there and go, you know what? We can do this. We can do this for a small amount, bring in liquidity, and then when Coke decides, or when the regulations step in, at least you can say, well, sorry guys, we're getting out, and then they pull out. But I know if I'm Coke, and all of a sudden I realize that, wow, I've got a whole entire community here. Like, they would, all right, and say, all right, look, let's work together. If they're smart, this is what I would do, is create some form of staking / dividend protocol between the two. And then what you could do, and I don't know how that would work, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to.
You'd need some serious money, though.
But here's the thing: if you have a 300,000, 200,000 group community, you can sit there and say, all right, guys, come together. We're going to use this one here. This is the contract that we're going to use. Or they might just create their own. But either way, even if they create their own, we all know if one narrative picks up, it rises that whole entire group of crypto up, right? Like the idea of Monero, right? And a blanket protection, right, that it gives you with Monero. Well, when they won, all of those, you had Monero, you had what is it? Tornado Cash. You had a bunch of those type of cryptos go up, and as well as you also saw a lot of just that whole entire community really like just like sooner or later you're going to get these guys who are in traditional finance. Like, that is a great, I hate to say it, but exit liquidity.
Yeah,
we get like I keep saying, like, the reason why we keep seeing the sell-off in Bitcoin is literally because our boy Michael Saylor is saying, I'm gonna buy, and banks go, oh good, exit liquidity. Like, and every time within a day we see a sell-off, and obviously the sell-offs are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. But again, it's one of those things that it's just exit liquidity for institutions, so they can drop a market. I'm just saying and that group sits there and goes, yay, it's selling off, or no, it's selling off, and then they sell off, and then the company goes in, or the liquidity, not the liquidity, but the institution sits there and goes, okay, cool, we need a flip. Now people are buying in. Right?
Well, you did mention strategy, so I'm going to flip over to their article. They just bought another 7,400 Bitcoin, and they hold over $576,000. And the good news about this one is they seem to have broken the streak at buying at the high. The market pumped after they bought,
because they are buying at the correct points. I think
they got a new trader maybe.
Or they got somebody who just finally gets, like, we keep hurting Bitcoin, and we're realizing it. Like, I think enough people, and I went on enough podcasts in the ether within crypto saying Michael Saylor's hurting us. I was on enough spaces that I'm like, he's hurting us because he keeps topping off the market, and it just acts as a liquidity pool for the institutions. He needs to buy at the low points. Like, you just wait for a sell-off, a consolidation. That's all that man needs to do. Sell off, call consolidation. When it comes down to a higher low, buy, brother. Like, that's good. And then what happens is your dollar cost averaging goes and gets better because you're buying more Bitcoin. But also, the institutions have a harder time selling off the market. Now, they still may just use his liquidity as just a point to sell off, But I don't think it's much easier to sell off at the top, right, than it is at a midpoint or at a low. It just is.
Seems to work out that way. No, wait. See, I'm sorry. For most of crypto, it works out the other way, that people panic sell and get out because they don't see it coming. They don't see price action getting too far away from the 20-period moving average. You know, those got to come back. So you can kind of figure out when there's going to be a high and it's going to pull back. But it's not wizardry. Just quick news item that I've had on the charts here for a couple of days. If you can believe it, Pedro. But let's see if we can believe this scenario. A bunch of insiders are the ones that made all the money in the meme coin for Melania Trump's meme coin.
Shocking.
Unbelievable, right? Isn't it? Here, a small group of traders reportedly made $99 million from the pre-launch purchases of the Melania Trump meme coin. And in the fine print of the article, it goes in to say that right before launch, so the word got out to some key insiders, otherwise known probably, I'm guessing, speculation here, opinion, that it would be Trump family members, that all of a sudden bought about an hour before the launch. Just boop, 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 10,000 here, 20,000 here, you know, a lot of money. And they got big returns. They made $100 million.
Yeah.
If you can believe it. I was shocked. I was like, insiders making the money on meme coins? What is going on? Call the SEC.
Honestly, the fact that Melania is sitting at that 36,000, I'm honestly looking. I'm thinking like for market cap, like, bro, I'm gonna buy some. Like I'm gonna buy it at these lower levels, because the thing is it may. We all know that there's always a resurgence, always.
Trump coin came back.
And more important, because it's not just the resurgence that I'm really looking at. Like we talked about this area right here, right? Like that, this was that $1 billion mark area, right? We were talking about, okay, this is the area that we want to be looking to buy at. And this was back when it first launched. And I said, you know, I think I had one right here, which was that 4 billion. And then the other one was the $1.4 billion mark. We need to go back. We need to figure out a way to set up the algorithm in the company, or not in the company, in the Telegram, for our community, so they can say that when did Pedro call prices for Trump coin.
I need to put that back.
And it's okay. I know you're super busy, so I don't want you to like. But if we can do that, that would be one of those areas that'd be really good. So, 24 of them. That's funny. Yeah. So you can sit there and see here that as we're moving in the markets here, if Trump starts, I think if Trump really starts to get going and we really start to see it really push forward, I would expect, honestly, that we're going to then see this, the Melania coin pick up again. Just simply because it's one of those ones that I think it's going to be one of those iconic moments. So I like that 135 mil for the is this Melania? No, this isn't. Is this it? Yeah, I was looking at the other one. I thought, which one was I looking at? Trump coin here, or was it Please? Was I looking at Please? Yeah, that's what it was. Please, excuse me. I was looking at Please on Solana. This is the Vance meme coin that he got behind as well. This area, I think Please is another. If he becomes president, right? I was talking with a potential. This would be like, this is a no-brainer for me. Like when I'm looking at it, 9 mil, buying in at these low levels here. Again, this is all predicated on one, that Trump and Melania out of office well. Two, if the Please, i.e. Vance gets into office, and I think just putting in, like probably put in $50, 50, $20, and if this thing does 1,000x, right, that's a nice little 10,000 that could potentially go. And we know we've seen that before, right, where a coin goes from 9 million, 8 million all of a sudden to $20 billion, i.e. Shiba Inu. Um, and so, and so like you just don't know what's going to happen, right? So these low levels here that potentially are big plays. I'm not telling you to put in money. Again, this is not financial advice, but I know I'm definitely looking to be buying these meme coins, these low levels, because I mean, it just makes sense, at least to me. Because if it's another resurgence, it's a heyday. That you talk about a cash cow. You might be put a kid through college or something.
Please put my kid through college.
Please put my So $100 million on Melania. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Was that Melania or Trump coin?
Melania.
Yeah, so it looks right here. And this would be the area right here. Man, that's a big push, man.
They bought right before the public tweet of it. So the contract was live. They didn't get it on pre-sale. Someone sent them the contract address and said, "You need to buy that," and they did, and they made millions. Roland Rod, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Roland's on his way back to mine some fiat. Do that to feed your crypto habit there, Roland. Have a good day.
Wow, I don't know why I can't tag him. All right, awesome. So I like these areas here on this. Let's check out Shiba Inu because I want to feed the algorithm here. Shiba Inu here, we've seen it starting to pick up just a little as it's starting to continue. It's looking similar to what we were just looking at with I think, what was it? Not Solana. No. Bitcoin. Nope. What was it? Matic. I think it was Matic or Solana.
Shiba's sitting at an $8.5 billion market cap and 335 million traded today. Not so bad.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was like Matic. So it's kind of setting up like Matic here. You can see here we're in between the moving averages. We're kind of playing here. If we do push up and we start to see it get going, we should see Shiba Inu get back up to the local high here of that 1793 area, and to see if it can tap that 200 period sitting at that 18 cent or the 4018 area. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see. We came back down to our lower levels here of the 1034 area here. So it was a nice little play. I was hoping it would go down lower, right? We had talked about that, but it didn't. It actually held strong, and we started seeing volume step in a little. So it looked pretty nice here at these levels here as we're pushing up. So we'll see what happens if it continues. Again, I don't see Shiba Inu going anywhere over the long haul. They've got a great community, and as well as that, they've also got a strong leadership community there. And so there's a lot of people who've made a lot of money off of it, as well as they've actually gone through and made just continuing to keep creating products there. So shout out to those guys. Let's check out AVAX here. AVAX is looking weak, sitting at $22 here. But again, what I like about it is that it's still putting in higher highs and higher lows. So high, higher high, higher high, low, or higher low, low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So these are just a good sign, potentially going up. Either way, if we see it come back down, that 19 area is looking hot and sexy. Also coming back down to that 15 area. Hopefully Chris Alexander did buy some extra ones here. I thought we were going to go up and keep going from that 55 area, but it sold off pretty hard at that 14. So if you bought in more at these lower levels, it's a good little area that you could have made a pretty good chunk. I know that his cost base was around that $7 mark when he bought in at it. So yeah. All right. So it's not like he made a lot of money. I mean, he didn't put a lot of money in it, but either way. AVAX. Yep, AVAX. Let's check out Litecoin. Litecoin is looking pretty sturdy here. You can see it coming down following that 20 period on the daily, And typically that means that that 8 right here is starting to show some strength as it's pushing up here. So I would expect to see it continue. If it comes down for the week first thing, I expect it to come back up. And this little area right here, that 31 to 29 area, would be the next area if it does break with volume, the 107 area for Litecoin. And let's check out DOT here. DOT is showing a little weakness here. You can see we came back down, we came below the previous week, but also more important, we've got that 8 period on the weekly chart here, which typically means you've got the higher time frame 50 period kind of sitting underneath it. So if we break below that 50 period, that means it's breaking below the weekly, which means we should continue down the movement here with DOT and kind of retest that $3 350 mark area to that 390 area here. I'll put that in here real quick. Yeah, it's this area that I would look to see as come and retest and tap. ADA here. ADA is showing some strength, as you can see here, as we were pushing up. But again, it's similar to DOT. If you look at the weekly, right, that 8 is sitting here, we can see it come back down and tap this area into here to touch that 8.
All right, cool. You switched over to Cardano, right?
Yes.
All right. What price? That price you just said that it's going to come back to touch the 8-day moving average. Are you on the daily or weekly?
Yeah. This is the weekly, and so that weekly is that 68.97 area to the 64 area. So you have multiple things. You have a zone down in the area of that 66.47 to the 64.25, and above it you have the 8. So many times what we'll see is it wick down, and you'll use that wick as support, as well as come get orders down out the zone area here, and then continue up. And so a lot of times this will act as support, but it'll look like a sell-off first. So you can see it would look something like this. Boom. Gonna come down, boom, tap, bounce off that 50, come hit this, and then kind of go like that. Okay. All right, I think I went through everything. Oh, let's check out Doge. Doge is still strong. You can see here that we did have an increase in volume. We did see a sell-off, but it held here. And so this is similar to Bitcoin. I can see us push up here if Bitcoin really starts to push. And honestly, besides this local area here, you have a push, a potential push. Honestly, back up to that 40 cents area. This would be the area that I would expect us to hit.
Hey Mike, I'm looking for an article about what you said with Circle and Coinbase, and I can't find one.
I did hear about that. I saw that on one of my things. It did pop up. I forgot to read it too, but it seemed like it was a pretty legit thing. What's up, Mike? How you doing, man? It's good to see you. I know I haven't been doing the full rant Fridays. After the last one there, man, I was just, those guys from the other community came in and it was kind of annoying me. So, but we'll see what's up.
Alpha Wolf says the Shibarium ecosystem is dead. Well, that's what happens with those things. Unless SHIB is putting money into it and incentivizing people to do it heavily, people are going to go elsewhere. They're going to go to the newest, shiniest thing.
The hype is real. You need hype in crypto.
No doubt about that.
You really do. I had a friend of mine who said, without hype, you never see market, you never see chart go up. You've got to be able to get it out in the press and then get hype behind that. And I think that's going to continue moving forward into the market, even in traditional finance. Like we see kind of hype with Elon Musk, but I mean it's rampant all through crypto. I mean there's literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not actually probably millions of dollars that flood into just hype machines so that they can hype your coin. I mean, and I remember at the top of the ICO craze of last time, I mean, people were paying $10,000 into a Telegram call group.
I know. They still do. They still on some projects will pay, 5-10 grand or more, 20 grand for some of them. But they're like, hey, we're gonna, they raised $600,000 in a pre-sale, and they say, oh, we're gonna put $500,000 into the liquidity, and we're gonna use $100,000 for marketing. And then, they use like $20,000 for marketing and $80,000 for going to Ibiza and doing the usual stuff. But yeah, it's always mine when I hear someone that I'm like, you paid what?
Yeah. Yep. We knew people. I was part of still am part of a community and a launch, and I remember talking with the quasi dev. He wasn't even the dev, he was the speaker for the dev. The dev left, but he told me that they paid, I think it was Caesar's calls. They spent almost $20,000. It was like $10 or $20,000. And we got six times we could go there and talk, and they would mention us, and we did. We saw a big push into our liquidity pool. I mean, it was a big deal while he had that push. But ultimately, when I look at that, there we go. Sorry. But it was just like one of those moments that it's just like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, I don't understand it. I looking back now, he got filthy rich.
Victor James in the house. Sol Snake is the ticker. I'm glad I got me a fat bag, ladies and gentlemen. It's awesome, fat, man. With a PH, so you know it's awesome.
All right, cool. So we've got a lot of those people coming here. So let me pull their CA up here real quick. Again, this is not financial advice. This is purely kind of an educational and entertainment purpose only. I'm not subscribing to any of our meme coins here. I don't ever fully back any of them. But look, you never know if something could be a golden ticket. And so I'm not telling you to go through and put everything in it or whatever. But you just don't know, especially when it comes to a big community and people really pushing hard. And honestly, seeing Snake really kind of come in here and really kind of pushing hard. If they're doing it here, we're a small show. I can only imagine where they're going to be doing in other big places. So as they get more community and they keep working hard and they keep shilling it potentially could really take off. So you never know. That's why you always pay attention to them. Boom, you can see here, daily chart. You guys just launched on May 15th, which I think it was Friday, I believe. Thursday. And let's check you out here real quick. 15,000 liquidity. Your market cap is 145,000. Less than 10% of the liquidity there. Your volume average is about 524. Not bad. Let's check you out. All right, there you are. So I'm watching this here playing off of this.
Oh, where is Saul Snake?
All right, so it's decent. So I mean, honestly, I don't know where it's going to go, from a market cap standpoint. But right now, if I was going to get in, I would wait until it gets down to that 138,000 market cap area, which is basically like right above it.
Hey,
Tap that area.
Sorry, hey, Soul Snake guys, which Telegram room is yours? It's hard to believe that I'm not a member of one of Walter's rooms, but I don't seem to be. I want to post a screenshot in there. There are 8 liquidity pools, so it makes it confusing sometimes.
There you go. Actually, that's a good sign. The fact that you have so many liquidity pools. Are you guys on what's it called? Mexi, which is the one that quickly puts people up.
Mexi.
Where you can, Mexi, and then they're long and short. You can trade the their future.
Oh, it's getting at a young age like this, getting them on the futures will just hammer them.
Gotcha.
Vultures will come.
The vultures will come. Yeah. Good point. Let's go ahead here real quick. You know what? I always play. What's going on with our sponsor, BitFi?
Not much. But ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't noticed, there's a QR code below me here. It is our central exchange sponsor of our channel, BitFi. If you want to learn to go long or go short in the futures markets, this is the place to do it. Click the QR code here. They'll give you some free monies to trade. Let me bring that graphic up here. I mean, everyone likes free monies, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't?
Right. And you can claim up to, I think it's $3,000 now in rewards. I got to make some new graphics. Also, if you deposit 100 USDT, they'll give you another 100 USDT to trade. You can't just withdraw it, no, but you can use it to double up your purchasing power. You can learn. You can come back and ask Pedro and I questions about using leverage. You can learn to go short. You don't even have to use leverage, and you can go short. You can sell Bitcoin. You can sell pretty much any of the anything that's highly traded. Mexi. Sorry, BitFi will list, and you can short them. And when the coin conks out, you'll make a ton of money going short. BitFi.
Yeah.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, BitFi, they have a great demo account too. If you want to learn to practice crypto trading, they've got a demo account here. Log on to do it. You can go into their demo and practice trading and not lose any of your hard-earned money. And I always suggest that too. I did not do that at first. I said I'd use small amounts of money, but it got me thinking incorrectly. Needed to trade with the amounts of money that I would be doing in the real life. So I went back to the demo trading. And I'm not going to ever go away from demo trading because as you're starting this trading life here, you learn one setup, then you learn another one, then you learn another one, and you do that learning in the demo account.
Here's the thing: you as a trader, and granted, you do have kind of intrinsic teaching because you were on the floor of New York Stock Exchange, so you do have you have more experience than you actually realize. Very rarely are people have the ability to walk away with making money. Not only have you walked away making a little bit of money, but you've actually doubled your bags multiple times. You started with $200, Tom, and you grew that to $1,400. Took out $200, and then took out the rest of it for bills and extenuating.
Right. That was actually real money, not the demo account money, right?
Yep. Then you took another 1,000 and turned it to 2,000 again.
That was demo account money. But doesn't matter. That was the demo account. It doesn't matter. I was using real world setups and trading.
So I want to add this with this. That's why I was telling you I want you to write down, because you were good. I mean, rarely do you actually see people actually able to pull money out of the market. You did it almost intrinsically, really without any skill. So now that you're actually good, or you're getting good, right? You're gonna actually be easier. It's gonna be easier. So this is where you honing in your skill set on that demo account, so that when you start to go live again, starting with $200 cat, you know, starting $200-300 and building it. And as what happens is, like I always say, compound interest takes care of itself.
Yep.
So just keep to the rules that you've established for yourself, and then refine them, and then you become a better trader. So shout out to our people over at BitFi. Thank you guys again for what you guys are doing. Whatever happened to Stella?
Stella got fired.
Oh,
she got fired.
Oh, I miss Stella. My heart breaks.
Now we have Doria.
Really? Yeah.
Now Doria is our contact.
Okay. Or where is Doria? I miss
Doria. I don't know where Doria is. She doesn't. Stella and I, since I was started with her a long time ago at BitFi. You know, she tried to recruit us for months before we actually signed up for them. Doria is new to it, and well, I'll try to engage Doria to come on the show, and not come on the show, but to in the comments section.
Why not? Have her come on. Why not?
Because she uses Google Translate.
So
her name is not Doria. Her name is. I don't know. I just probably said I have intestinal worms. You know.
Let's not do that. That's not going to age well. Just say. There are a lot of things, but that will be a clincher for us. I'm always thinking now, how is this going to age?
Hey, Walter, I posted the screenshot in the DYOR room. I don't know where the link is to your Sol Snake. Oh wait, you just posted it. Never mind. Never mind. I'm stupid.
No, you're brilliant.
It literally the one right above it. I got to prove that I am human. You have been unmuted.
You are good.
There we go. Exactly, Jesus. Bring. Oh, Pedro, I forgot to mention, while I was at the show, a lady came by and said, oh, I met you guys last year at the show. Her name was Justina.
Oh, yeah.
Justina, yes. Women in Blockchain Canada organization. Mm-hmm. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. Oh, she was nice. She was cool. Good peoples. Yeah. She had a husband, right? That was the one with the husband, and she was pregnant? Was that the one?
I don't know.
No.
I didn't remember seeing her last year.
Why am I the name sounds super familiar. And she's with directly with Blockchain North, right?
No, she's with one of her groups. I think she has a regular job, but she's with a group called Women in Blockchain Canada.
Oh, yes. Skinny older woman.
Yeah.
Absolutely, so polite, so nice.
No, you're thinking of Jackie, Blockchain Legal Institute.
Oh, dang it. I met so many people, and I really I tried to pinpoint what was she blonde?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't. Yes. I put her picture on the screen, but I can't. I don't have that set up.
Yeah, do not. Yeah, just send it to me through the through our Telegram, my personal. But on a side note, it's interesting to see what we're actually going to see with the. Oh yes, I do remember her. Absolutely, she was dude. She was so nice. She was so polite.
And she's wicked smart. I kept very good conversation with her about stuff, and also she's ripping off topics and theories about crypto. I'm like, that's past me.
I'll bring her on, brother. I would love to have just a great conversation.
I told her. She said she'd love to be a guest. I said, all right, let's keep in touch.
Yeah, dude. Let's make that happen this week so we can have her on next week. I'm actually going to be meeting with a guy this week and I'm really excited about this. He is creating a hybrid system between something that, if you're familiar with TD Ameritrade and how they have a system where you can actually day trade, and you have all of your, it's all with TradFi, but you have all of your allocations, how it's all set up, right? and then you also have your 401k, and you also have what you're building on. It's all emerged. Well, this individual is going through, and he's actually merging crypto and TradFi together. And he's communicating, talking with the SEC. He's talking with a lot of the systems out, or like the SEC. He's trying to connect with David Sachs, and a few other people there. And so if he can get it going and really get it up, and he's already got investors, major investors up and running. They've already coded a lot of stuff. It's a working MVP. It's an awesome. But basically, you look at your crypto holdings, and you look at your TradFi holdings, and you can sit there and say, all right, most crypto people are just leveraged when it comes to crypto, and they don't realize it, right? And so when the market go up, they're like, yay, but when the market go down, they go from a couple 100,000 to now 20,000, right? Yep. And so what happens is this algorithm sits there and says, hey, you've done a great job, skim off 40,000, 50,000, and then just transfer it into your TradFi system. And so it's basically kind of a merge between the blockchain, the DeFi blockchain, into the TradFi blockchains that are being created. It's actually going to be a really interesting system as what he's developing. So I'm supposed to meet up with him in New York and talk about this and really communicate. So I'm going to see if we can get him on. He was actually introduced to him by another CEO of WeCheck, which is another algorithmic company. This is another cool company I actually stumbled on too. This company does background checks through AI. It is so good, and I mean this, that it puts together an actual profile based off of your algorithm, or the algorithm puts a profile about you by the words that you use, how you use them, and the way you type on all social media. It takes a picture of you. Yeah. And then what happens is, and this is what's so trip about it, it's able to see kind of your tendencies, how you talk, and then it, through the vast information that we have on personality profiles on the internet, psychopath, sociopath, and everybody in between, because either psychopath, sociopath, and everybody sits in between based off of personality info. It puts together an actual profile saying, okay, this person would be work good here, this good here. Well, they also said, well, could this also find like nefarious people who are doing like sex trafficking and stuff like that? So the CEO was like, yeah, actually, you should be able to. So he went through, tweaked it a little, ran it through just the database that he received, that he looked at, and was able to sit there and say, and it marked out certain individuals who were potentially like
meet the profile.
Yeah, of somebody who hurts little children. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
Line them up.
And literally, they were not even in the system. Like they weren't, the thing was, it simply just captures, all right, what the most companies just want you to go through and look at the actual person and say, all right, what is, tendency here, tendency there, where would be a good fit for them if we were going to hire them, right? That's what most companies do. Well, what was so interesting is that they were able to find people, and also one of the part of it is they want to see if anybody's on, the registries out there that you gotta, self-register for them if you do certain things, or, these people were not on those registries.
It means they haven't been arrested yet. I can't wait to run my name through that and see what comes back.
Well, this is the part that's so crazy, and this is the part they found a few of them saying these people have the tendency to do it. So the government got involved and basically just did some background thing that they needed to do. Sure enough, there were videos of
all the bad stuff.
All the bad stuff. And I was talking to the CEO and I said, bro, this is revolutionary. He goes, yeah, this is revolutionary. And he goes, what's cool about it is this is the worst it will ever be. And he goes, and the reason why we were talking, because he knows like the trauma like I went through as a child by the people who hurt me and all that stuff, right? And so when he told me, bro, I was like you don't even know, bro. I was just like, yes. Like I knew, like if there's one thing that I thought was really cool is like to watch Grok go through all of my post, sit there and see, go through the internet, and I said, give a detailed analysis of who you think I am. And I was so shocked that he was like, yeah, this is you. He goes, and then it goes, what's interesting though is you got into trading when you probably should be more into people relationships. Like, yeah, like he was saying, like it said, he goes, your real skill set should be more as a counselor than a trader. And I was like, oh wow, that's interesting, right?
It nailed you right on there, right? Anyway, Pedro, during that conversation, you mentioned central exchanges and DeFi, and one of the people I met in Toronto at the Blockchain Futures Convention last week founded the app that I have on the screen here. It's called EZO.app. I don't know what EZO means, but it's a super wallet. And what it does is it allows you to have one wallet for your central exchange accounts and your DeFi accounts, and you can move things around from central exchange to DeFi with just a single wallet. And you can choose whether you can have, click an option on it that says, if I buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, let Coinbase custody it, or let my own wallet custody it, or let any other company that's in the custody business custody it. And you can do that right from one app.
Oh wow!
And
that is actually really cool.
And not only that, but you can onboard fiat, on-ramp, off-ramp fiat. You can, and it's just launching right now. And the guy, his name is Charles. I can't remember his last name. He's like Steve from Quebec. He's from Quebec. He's Frenchie from Quebec. Very knowledgeable too. Very, very good guy. And I'm probably going to have him on the show. Probably hit him up for a sponsorship too. But I'm going to have I'm going to ask him to be a guest as well on the show. As long as we can keep. He speaks like you. You see his brain going, and he starts talking. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you got a lot of stories in there. He's like, oh my god, I can go all day. I can go all day.
Yeah. Sometimes my words get in front of my mouth, and my brain starts to flip. I have to sit there so many times and go, and I don't even understand how I do it. I just know that like my brain will put one letter in like the last letter on, let's say, cake, right? Oh, same letter. Either way, like, I'll use this, right? Instead of saying top, it'll go pot, and I mean to say top, but my brain will flip the P and T, or crypto. I've called it either. I don't know. I'll flip maybe the middle, and I don't understand why it does it. And I'm sitting there and I have to like descramble my brain. Like, stop, no, slow down.
Hey, do you know if you can? Sorry, I've got the conversation going with Justina.
Yeah.
Can you just add someone to a conversation, or you have to in Telegram, or can you or do you have to make a whole new group?
No, you should be able to add me. You just go up into the conversation. You go to what do you call? Settings. You should be able to hit from settings, conversation, add to. There should be something like that. And I'm actually going. I saw the dent head thing for people who use these things, and so like I'm like, I don't want the dent right here, bro. Like I saw somebody, like some people had some, like, we're talking dents now, like bad dents, and I was like, oh dear Lord. I was like, nope, not today. Yeah. So, and if anything, we could just connect with her on what do you call LinkedIn, and we can just do it that way too as well. So there's multiple ways to be able to do it. She is very professional. Okay, so one of the other things I think what's really interesting also with Bitcoin, and I think is what was really cool about with Bitcoin, is if Bitcoin really starts to kind of get going this month here, if you look at the monthly chart here, you can see here, we had a small wick here, and I talked about this. But if we close into next week above here, right? Let's say around that 110. Again, I talked about hitting that, coming back and selling it off and then going back up. That would literally be one of the most bullish things. Like, let's go if we close above that 110 for the month, man. It would be such a big deal, because that would then signal a lot of traders going, okay, yeah, look, we're moving up. And TradFi, everybody and their mom is going to sit there. I mean, you literally had, a sell-off at the beginning of last month. You saw it close with decent volume. Then if we see it close up here and we see an increase in volume, right? Like we see the volume get increased up to, let's say, 3 months ago or 4 months ago for this, it's going to be a big deal, like a very big deal. And all of a sudden we'll see a sell off in the beginning of the month, and then we should see a Bitcoin 120, 130. And then at that point, it's go time.
It's go time.
Go time. By the way, did you see just in, President Trump says Russia wants to do a large-scale trade deal with the U.S. Now, he's made these comments now a few times, and the people will be like, no, we ain't. We're not talking. What are you talking about? Bro, shut up, bro. What are you doing? No, we ain't talking. And it's like, so like we saw China. There's the thing that got squared away there over the weekend. We're watching a bunch of stuff being, and again, if China slips up and they don't start paying their fair stuff, I'll see Trump just being like, bro, we're done. Like, you're done. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens there. But it's really interesting to see Russia now coming to the table and really working things out as well. What are your thoughts on that? There it is.
I think the master manipulator of the world is not Donald Trump. It's Vladimir Putin. And he is only out for one goal, and that is to keep and enlarge his power base. Yeah. And he's just not to be trusted. Just 2 months ago or a month ago, Trump was like, peace deal, everything's great. Woo, peace deal, we're going to do this. And like 2 days later, Putin's bombing him and no peace at all. And Putin went back on his word. He probably never even told the military to stand down. He probably just told them to take a smoke break. And we've seen a lot of people dying since then. So I've watched Vladimir Putin come up through the ranks since the 90s, and I've read articles and biographies of him from various sources, from his side of the story to the other side, and starting out as the harbor master in St. Pete, and he introduced a serious corruption into that. Made huge money taking bribes to unload ships first versus other ones. And if you didn't pay him, your ship didn't get unloaded. And he used that money to, fund his way up to make political friends by spreading his money around and then killing them all. Every person that's been involved in Putin's life, except a couple of big money financiers that are squarely on his side, are dead. Like, and I don't mean just the guys dropping out of hotels in the past year or two. People that never checked into a hotel yet fall off the 18th floor. Interesting. I'm talking about like littered all the way back into the 90s. So I wouldn't do a deal with them. I would just treat them like the Soviet Union and just say, you know what, you guys do your own thing and you stay out of the rest of the world, and just feel free to screw up your own country, but we're not going to let you screw up more of the world. I could go on for length about that, but that's my idea about that.
That's what's up.
Patrick says BTC put in the weekly demand wick, heading to all-time high.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yep. Did it just clear? What's up, P? What up, Patty? It's good to see you, brother. Always good to see you. This man, if y'all don't know, is a legend. Well, growing legend. He's becoming a legend, but he's
making the
on
fat
point.
bank.
He's doing well.
Once again, I can't remember. Is he also a Vancouverite?
No, I forget.
Seattle, Pacific Northwest, or something like that.
Yeah, he's up in that area. Yeah. And he's, if he wants, I mean, whatever he wants to say, but he is. I just realized something. Did you just post that? He's a good guy, real good guy. I like him a lot. Good guy. Good guy. What was I gonna say here? Yeah, the market is putting in, Bitcoin is putting in that demand wick here, as we can sit there and see, and now it's moving up. So again, we are definitely starting to trend as it's moving up. You can see here, it's going. It is going. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Patty had a long last week, so he is happy. It's still pushing up, coming up, and you can see it's really trending on that 15-minute, 30-minute, 8 period. Boom. So.
Yeah, I've got the. What's the exact price you have for Bitcoin right now, Pedro? Are you looking at a spot price or a futures price?
This is, I believe, the spot price. It's BTC USD with Bitfinex, and it's 105,470.
The futures, I'm looking at the Binance Bitcoin Tether, are pushing 106.
Nice. Boom. So let's check that out here real quick. BTC, Binance. Is it you have a perp?
Yeah, it's a perpetual.
BTC, we'll say BTC. Perp. BTC, perp. Binance, here we go. Oh, I still have 105.
It just must be a different.
Wait, am I behind? No, I'm not.
Yeah, I have. I just have BTC USDT up there, and it's the Binance.
BTC USDT .p. Yeah, perpetual contract.
I have a feeling I am getting sick.
Oh no, that is not good, dude. I'm telling you, I just created this new body butter, bro. This thing is, I specifically designed it for men, right? I know dudes are like, listen, y'all know, like when you have dry skin, that stuff cracks and it sucks. And so, and I got really dry skin, so I literally crack. I don't have eczema, but I just got super dry skin. So I have to wear freaking, especially during the winter time, bro. Like I'll literally start to bleed on my leg, bro. So check this out. I created a body butter so that, one, it doesn't drop my testosterone, because most lotions out there for men drop your testosterone.
What?
Straight up. I'm not joking.
I can't even just put lotion on my body without losing my balls.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, bro. So I specifically created one. I was at the gym last week, was talking to this guy, and so we were talking about certain things and how you don't mess with plastic. He had a water bottle that was in glass, and so I go, how far have you gone down that road? He goes, oh, bro, I've drank the red pill, I swallowed the red pill, and I've gone down the hole here. I said, all right, cool. So I said, are you familiar with a lot of the fragrant stuff that they put out? He goes, oh, absolutely, bro. They're all literally oil based. I go, yeah. So he goes, yeah, it drops your testosterone, throws everything off. And I said, yeah. I go, yeah, I actually created my own little, like, beeswax, like lotion. Especially guys who work out a lot, they need to put lotion on so they don't like get stretch marks and stuff, And just being honest, right? Like, because stretch marks hurt. Like, they hurt, especially because you're building muscle, and pull the wrong way. Sometimes I saw this one dude, he was showing me, bro, like it stretched right here and it started to crack. And I was like, bro, you need to you know, because they're getting yoked up, and especially if you're yoked up and you're all tight, you got tight skin, right? So I went through and I gained muscle super quick. Like I legit, you know, like I get yoked up, and I also lose fat real quick, but I also gain it quickly. So all that to say is this: I created this not new, but it's a body butter. And so I told him about it. I said, yeah, I put this, and this, and this. And so I started researching. It actually helps your immune system as well. I was looking because I realized certain things behind it because of the beeswax in it. And it helps your immune system. It helps all this stuff. And I was like, dang. And then I realized like how awesome beeswax is how good it is for your immune system and everything. So all that to say is go get some beeswax, bro. And just like use it as, you know, they have the lip balm stuff.
You heard that, ladies and gentlemen. Run out and get your Burt's beeswax and rub it all over your body. Gotta use like 6 of these things.
I just popped in my head some guy, bro, like sitting there like dude,
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the quality of entertainment you get on DYOR Media Network.
DYOR. Speaking of crypto here, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says pro-Bitcoin Senator Cynthia Lumens canceled a meeting with him and won't reschedule. Talk about calling somebody out, bro. Like I'm like, that's some drama there. Like,
well, that's interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
That usually is not a good sign. Mrs. Striking deals with government officials all the time, and when you get dropped, there's a reason, and there's really no communication. The reason usually isn't because of them. It's usually someone higher up or someone that has influence over them is like, let's not do that, and so they just shut up, and you don't get your meeting.
Well, what I like about it is that it is Ripple CEO. Now, you guys know how much I love Ripple. So I just was like,
bring up their chart.
Yeah, let's check it out here real quick. Yeah, actually, we didn't go over them. Speaking of, boom, there you go. Yeah, it's similar to Matic and everything else, but they actually have a higher amount of seller volume per se. You can see here, you definitely had a bit of a small percentage increase. You can see how it's above the average here as it was pulling up. So it's real interesting to see what happens here. They did go below this area right here. Yeah, so I like this area right here. This area right here is a pretty nice area. They came in, they pulled liquidity here. You can see almost to a T. Right here is where the liquidity would sit. You saw it came in, tapped it, and then look, just pulled right up. So that would have been a great trade. You talk about a setup right there, man. Boom, came down, stopped everybody else out, and then you
point to it on the chart what you're talking about, Pedro.
Okay, I apologize. So right here, at the bottom of this wick right here, see this?
Yep.
There are stops sitting right there. And so what happens is when institutions need orders so they can take it in directions, they will go to those highs or those lows and stop people out. So I need you to follow me. It's a little confusing, but it's real simple once you understand it. If I'm going long, I put a stop below my entry. When I put the stop below my entry, okay, I want this one right here to go up, right? So as it goes up and we start to see it go up, my stop stays there.
Right.
Most of the time, most people keep their stop there because they have a target. Most likely that target is all the way up here. And so what happens is when it comes back down and it tests that area here, it's like a little body. See that? Boom. Sorry, ADD. Okay. So now that we understand that, and there are stops, which mean those are sell orders, okay, that are sitting there, and vice versa on the top. price will come down, take those stops, as you can sit there and see, comes in, stop those people out. And then from there, a bunch of sell orders were triggered. Institutions take the other side of the sell orders. So sell orders are triggered. Okay. They get triggered. And then the institution absorb all those sell orders into the buy orders. And the buy orders take up the sell orders, and then it goes up. And so this was a perfect area. You can see here that the wick came down against like this body below here. You can see how they always come down, tap that, and then went up. Do you remember how our friend in the morning, we got to reach out to her. Who was the person? Did she join our community? The one that when we started doing the morning session, when we did the Q's trade.
Miss Pixie?
And she's like, no, it's Miss Pixie. It was somebody else. It was a new girl. Yeah, either way. It was the Q trade. It was the NASDAQ trade.
Oh, right. Right. I remember. Can't remember her name.
And this was the trade, I believe, right here. So this was, it was right here. That's when it was. So it was a few weeks ago then. This was the trade right here. I said expected to come down below here and go up. And she's like, where? And I said specifically that 19,749 area. Come down, hit it, and then see it go up. And so the next day, and this is the similar trade here, right? Again, this is a support area. Earlier today, I was talking about how this is more of a support area that I use, that I look at, right? It's not a green level where I have a demand zone, but more of a support area where we should see buyers step in. So you can see here, this was a gap up, right? So the gap up was here as well. So we had a good chance that we have support areas here at the low here. And then we also have a liquidity area where, because we have stops sitting here, so you can see there gap up, plus we have a low, and we are above the moving averages, which means, right? I want to go long above moving averages, and I want to go short below moving averages. So some of my rules.
Trade with the trend.
Trade with the freaking trend. And so you can sit there, I'm looking to go long. So we should see a position of the market push up from here. And as you can see, typically that's what we see. And honestly, who trades, who uses this a lot of times as well? Crypto Lifer. I've watched some of his stuff. He uses something similar to this. And so I'm actually I was like, yeah. So it's kind of a play. So, but what happens is the same play down here on, not here, it was XRP. So XRP, you can see here we have a potential play, or that is exactly what we saw today, this morning, right? And that's this area here. You have your stops sitting below here, right? Which is that. And then price came down, pulled the stops right here, and then pushed up.
What time frame is that? That's a daily chart.
Yeah, this is the daily chart. I'm always looking at the daily chart when it comes to this, because I want to use larger time frames, because the higher the time frame, the stronger the move is going to happen.
Right.
Right. You can see here that this was a move of, was it 10 cents, 28 cents to 30, so 8 cents, right? It pushed up. And so what is that? That's like a 5.5% move. In trading, that's a, on a daily trade, that's a good trade.
Right. That's a lot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was a nice little trade. Boom. You can play, and you can see here, you get to play it either or. I like playing the body against the wick against the body, but a lot of times I know a girl, that's all she plays. She goes in and she waits for price to go above previous day, like this right here, right? And she'll wait, hit whatever her trending mechanism is, and then she'll wait for it to hit it and then turn around and go down, right? And all she's looking for is, 20 to 30 points, whatever ratio she's using. And she kills it. She absolutely kills it. And so because of her, I actually started going through and wanted to understand. Like, she saw the mechanism, but I don't think she really understood the reason behind it. She just traded it. She's like, well, basically this is what I do. I noticed this. And I was like, I need to know the why. And then I was like, oh, they're liquidity chasing. They're looking for, or they're stop hunting. It's the best way of how most people understand it to be. Yep. Boom. TRX is coming down here. It looks like it. They had a nice little pump. We talked about their pump potentially as we were consolidating a couple of weeks ago, before Tom went on his huge epic run all over the United States several times, by the way, several times, not like once, but several times, which is epic, dog. I wonder if you're a good, fun travel buddy, or are you a douche?
No, I enjoy the road trips.
Okay.
I enjoy the road trips. You know, oh, kids, world's second largest ball of twine.
You're a lampoon's dad.
Right.
I love it, man. That's awesome. That's
awesome. Tron disappeared off my my list of things here.
Oh no!
Do it manually.
Justin. All right. So I want to bring this up also because I know that our friend was talking about this just in Circle USDC and informal talks to sell itself to Coinbase or Ripple. Fortune reports. So I don't know if that's a lie or if that's real, because
I just had come across another news source too.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You can pull
Doesn't
this
make
up
something's
here.
fishy there because they're getting ready to go public.
Yeah.
I've been through the go public process.
Yep.
I helped. Well, I didn't help. I was a junior person in it, but I had to do all of the proposal putting together and all the paperwork for the pitch deck and all that type of stuff, and help with the roadshow and all that type of stuff. For a company I worked on in Cincinnati in the late 1990s, we went public, and it was an arduous process. I mean, and we were just a small manufacturing company. I can't imagine the process for, first of all, 30 years later, with a million more rules and regulations, for a large financial firm that's involved in crypto. It must be crazy, and which tells me they're having trouble with that process. And if in the meantime, if they're going to raise, $4 billion on the IPO, but they could sell themselves to $4 billion to Coinbase or Ripple or something, it's that's a wire transfer. Book,
Instant. Well, doesn't the Canadian guy, is it Mr. Perfect? No, not Mr. Perfect. Mr. Canadian guy, older, bald on top. He's on
Dennis O'Leary.
Shark Tank. Yeah, O'Leary. Yeah, Kevin O'Leary.
Dennis O'Leary's the comedian.
Yeah. Kevin O'Leary. Yeah, doesn't he own? I thought he owned a big part of Circle.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. I know they had a lot of investors over time because they had to. I remember a while ago they had to bring on a lot of investors, so they had more one-for-one cash.
Large portion of. Kevin O'Leary, also known as Mr. Wonderful, that's what it was, not Mr. Perfect. Mr. Wonderful is an investor in Circle and has a Circle account. However, there is no a large portion of the company.
Thanks to everyone watching us out there while Pedro does a little research. Everyone on Rumble, there's a bunch of you out there right now. Thank you very much for watching us. Really, really appreciate it. Of course, everyone that's watching on X and Twitch and YouTube, thank you very much also. Means a lot that you spend your time with us.
Dude. really do. And if you guys have any questions, please reach out to us. I love answering your guys' questions. You guys rock the mic, and I hope that we do bring some form of values to you guys. It's really important to us that we do bring value to you. And I real quick, what did I do with the actual? What did I do with it? There it is. Circle Talks. What is this? Tail. Oh yeah, because I was looking at that on. Yeah, that was a waste of time. Anyways, Circle in times to sell Coinbase. Circle in talks to sell as Coinbase and Ripple emerge as top buyers. So check this out. The cryptocurrency market could see major shakeup take place in some of the biggest brands in the industry. Specifically, USDC stable issuer Circle is moving forward with its plans for an IPO, as both Coinbase and Ripple are reportedly in talks to acquire the company, according to a Fortune report. Circle Internet Financial had filed paperwork in April to see its initial public offering plans finally come to fruition. However, that has come into question as talks about purchasing the company has heated up in recent weeks. Now, all eyes are on what the stablecoin firm could do next, and what either move would mean for the sector at large. Circle and talks is to sell to Coinbase or Ripple as an IPO plans are a go. Just weeks ago, Ripple, actually, this isn't continuing. This is just adding on to what this would have been. According to sources, the firm is looking for at least $5 billion, which is the value of its proposed IPO. If Coinbase wanted to buy them, Circle would sell in a heartbeat. A source told Fortune, things change week by week. A second source noted in regards to ongoing negotiations.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's interesting that I just don't. I think there's a lot of speculation there, and the reason is Ripple.
Yeah,
Ripple clearly has a plan that they funded, that they're working on, and I don't see that plan as taking $4 billion or $5 billion and giving it to other people in the industry. I can see them buying plenty of $4 billion worth of smaller companies that feed the ledger, but I don't see what advantage it is for them to buy a stablecoin. Frankly, I don't know. I don't see what advantage. I don't see how the company Circle is valuable. I'm missing something here. I mean, they have 20. What's their market cap? 30 billion Circle dollars, and they have $30 billion of cash that's earning money. So that's, say they earn 5% a year on their 20 billion, or 4%, whatever. That's a lot of money. It's it's plenty of money, but. If you've got $4 or $5 billion to buy something like that,
yeah.
I mean, you can already earn. Something's not making sense to me. I mean, you can't get something. All right, I'm starting to think this through. They have Circle has $20 billion, or let's say their market cap's $20 billion. I don't know what it is. That means, and they're 1-to-1 back. That means they have $20 billion in fiat and equivalents reserve. They need to invest somewhere, and they can make a return on that $20 billion.
5%.
Right.
Right now, you can make about 5 and with that amount of money, you're putting in something secure, treasuries, 30-year treasury, even if it's just like 1 month notes. Like, do you understand how the amount of money?
No, but what I'm saying is that it to turn the purchasing power of $4 or $5 billion. Let's just round it to 5. into purchasing power of $20 billion instantly like that, that should be a no-brainer deal for anyone that has $5 billion. They should be able to say, I'll give you my $5 billion and you give me $20 billion worth of assets to invest. The selling price should equal the assets.
Yeah, that's a low blow.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, it's probably I'm missing something.
They're just it's a slow news day is what that is.
Right.
And so Fortune needed something to get something going. You know what was it, a couple months ago? I forget who the publication was, but they just outright lied about I forget what the situation was. Shoot, I'm forgetting now. But they basically lied about something, and the person came out and said, "No, that's not true. That's dumb," and they're lying. And I think it was CZ. I forget who it was, but it just wasn't true. And it was just a slow day. And somebody said, "Oh, I heard this," and I actually heard Nancy Pelosi actually say this, which I thought was so interesting. She goes, and I don't know if this is a real video or was an AI video, but it sounded like her. But it made sense. Some of the stuff that we started seeing on a lot of the far left media networks, that what you could sit there and say is, let's say somebody next to you says this, and he goes, "Oh, I just heard a source say this." And then what happens is you then go on a news, you write out something like this. And then what happens is that person then can go on the news and say, sources say that somebody just said this. Yeah, and all of a sudden it's like, and it was one big group chat right there in front of everybody. And now that makes it viable, that it's legit, even though it was just one big lie. And I don't know how real that is, but I know that there are a lot of media platforms outside of the United States that literally says, if we make a mistake, we will say we messed up. We are doing our best to make sure we have the most credible sources on up-to-date information, and we will mess up, but as soon as we realize it messed up, we want to make sure we really get good sources for you guys. And I said that, and this is why I listen to a lot of other different sources outside the United States, as well as inside the United States. There are other sources in the United States that are real, and I think they do an okay job at the best of their ability. I mean, I love the fact that anytime there's a type of war going on, Mauro Nafault literally has people and places around the world that come onto his, like during the Gaza invasion. Yep. There were literally people who were living on one side and the other talking, "Oh, we just saw a bomb. Oh yeah, we just saw it." And you're literally like in time, exact time of what's actually happening in and around war areas. So with that type of news coverage, like, how do you fight against that?
Sorry, I'm trying to cough here.
Oh, just for some fun, cough away. When do you need to get going? As I ask you a question and you're coughing.
Well, we've been on here for a while now.
Yeah, about 2.5 hours, 2 hours.
2.5 hours. I thought. See, once again, I got two different clocks here. I got my laptop has one time, and because I've been in different time zones, and my brain was registering we'd only been on for an hour and a half.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Well, we started to. I think after everything all said and done, we started really streaming and talking about the market around 12:30. So I figured. I think we did go live at 12 or 12, like 5, 12:10.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Bonds. Bonds, man. With $20 billion as a reserve to chill, like, you're not gonna put it in anything crazy. So you're gonna put it into like 1 month bonds. You know what I'm saying? And get a yield from it. And that's not bonds, notes. So 1 month note, and you're gonna go through and quickly just make your money. And granted, that's based off of a 4.3% or 4.3% on a yearly bout. But when you have $20 billion, I mean, what is that? That's $2 billion? No, that's $1 billion that you're making off of it just sitting in cash.
Right.
It's not a bad day. You know what I'm saying? Or
right.
what
So
was
that,
it? Maybe
that makes me. I mean, you'd have to. I mean, you'd need to sell it at a discount to sell it, but it's the price in my mind should be 15 billion, at least. God, who's the head of Circle? Man, he's gonna make a fortune. Oof.
Well, I think it's a group of people, right?
But none of these people saw this coming earlier. It's like, oh, I don't want to run a stable coin. That's just, okay, that's not very sexy. It's not going to 10x or anything like that. Man, these guys raking the money in like nobody's business. Guys at Tether, every day the guys at Tether wake up, and gals, wake up and are just saying, pay me. Trader getting paid. Bro.
You forgot 87,000 other genders when you just did that. Think of all the people you just dishonored. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm so sorry. Keep going. I don't know why even that ain't gonna age well. That is definitely gonna age well.
That's all right. We had the discussion at the. I won't say with whom, but when a guy is talking about his wife and they had some relations, and then she becomes pregnant. A lot of the trend is to say, "Oh, we're pregnant," and I always answered by, "I'm like, holy shit, immaculate conception on a male? Oh my God, it's the first time ever!" And they're like, huh? Like, you're not pregnant. She's pregnant.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we're going to have a baby. That's on the line. It can go either way. But, hey, we're going to be parents. Ding, ding, ding. Correct. We're pregnant. And all of you that are listening that say that, just know that I'll be talking to you saying, oh, wow, the man got immaculate conception?
It was beautiful.
God just put a uterus right in there. Poof.
Boop. You know, one day it might happen. I mean, dude, with what we're seeing with everything that is happening.
The future of humanity's screwed, because once all they need to do is figure out like 2 or 3 more little things in the lab. And they're going to be growing babies on heads like this, so you can have like 10 of them at once. And
dude, are you been following? What's the guy's name who literally created the dire
Who says I'm pregnant with a beer belly?
Well, that's true. I guess I'm pregnant. We're counting bellies here. Yeah, man, it's one of those things. Go ahead. Look at them guns, bro. Put those guns away, bro. You're gonna get arrested off of that. What was I gonna say? I want to bring up here real quick, gold here. We've actually seen a bit of a sell-off with gold, but we saw a bit of a pullback. So you can see how we sold off, went back up, we're kind of coming. So we're kind of finishing off gold, the futures contract, kind of chilling here. So we might just see gold here for the rest of the month, potentially just consolidate between the 3,200 to that 3,100 area right now, until we really have some decisive news about what's happening with the economy, whether that's good news with finishing up a lot of the trade deals, and or seeing some other dope stuff coming in with, slowing down wars, peace kind of coming in the Middle East as well as throughout the world. So we'll see what happens. But ultimately, be ready. Come check us out on Thursday. Tom is not going to be here, but I am going to live stream tomorrow around 12 o'clock, 11:30 on my actual platform now. And then from there, Tom will send it over here, or have you guys come check it out as well over there. And so that we can make sure that you guys get good information. We'll be doing Technical Tuesdays. You all right, buddy?
Yeah, I got some scratched myself.
No worries. So we're going to do Technical Tuesday tomorrow. I'm going to be going over everything and checking everything out, and ultimately showing you guys what I'm thinking the market's going to do over the next week into next month. All right, buddy. That's it in the show on my end.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Good show today on Markets Monday. I'm trying to come up with a name for the Monday shows. Used to be Meme Coin Monday. Now it's Markets Monday. Did market opens last week, but we did the opening early day show, middle of the day show, Markets Monday or Market Monday. I don't know, whatever, something. Getting there. But anyway, I want to thank everyone for watching, especially all of you on Rumble that really came out in force. And of course, everybody from the Sol Snake community and XPX community. Is that it?
Yep.
Thank you very much for coming by and showing your love. Shout out to AI Wolf for the super chat today. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And as always, then what looks like Mr. Stefanik is going to get the last comment today.
Mr. Stefanik, ¿qué pasa?
Everyone, have a good show. As Pedro said, tomorrow he'll be streaming on his channel, so pay attention to social medias for the link to that. And also, we'll be
let me actually pull up on my channel so you guys can subscribe to it. I believe it's actual Pedro Garcia Crypto Chart Analyst show, but it's been a minute since I've actually looked at it. Give me 1 second. And this is no, it's not working. Yeah, that's literally what it's called. It's been 2 years since and wow, that's crazy. Wow, that's actually really crazy. So if you want to find me, it's literally just type in Pedro Garcia Crypto Charting Analyst, and that's it in a nutshell. So you can find me there. It's literally a big old long yeah, it's my face. I look like a weirdo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the show today. We'll see you every day here, starting at noon for the rest of the week. So you be there, ladies and gentlemen.